You're listening to Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ. Your one-stop shop for the hottest beats and heroic beats. Power, wisdom, and courage in every tune. This is Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ.
Watch Zelda become a legend on your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Zelda! After rocks!
Which way to go?
Good times! Pee hands! Levers! Zelda! Zelda! Zelda!
The Legend of Zelda. A never-ending adventure new for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Zelda!
You're listening to Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ. Your one-stop shop for the hottest beats and heroic beats.
Welcome to WLOZ 86.1 Zeldathon Radio. I'm Clinkett here, and I'm joined by the lovely Zennadir.
How we doing, fam? I'm doing wonderful today. Personally, it is a Sunday, July 28th, 2024, and I am very ready for this schedule reveal. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing all right. I'm hearing that I'm coming only out of a left ear, but you know what? We'll work on that. Do you want to get us started? Or I guess I'm getting us started, right? I'm going to talk about what Zeldathon is.
I would love to hear about it. Go ahead.
All right. Zeldathon is an annual 6-day charity marathon in which we play through the entire Legend of Zelda series, or at least most of them. You might be happy or sad about some of the ones that might not be in this next marathon. Spoiler alert. But we're raising money for charity. This marathon, we are raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, who do a lot of research and therapy for children, treatment for children who have diseases that cannot be cured, finding cures, putting tons of research into making sure children get the care that they need when they're struggling with very serious diseases. And the best part is no child pays a penny for their treatment while they are at St. Jude. So we are very excited to be raising for them again. This is our 10-year anniversary of raising for St. Jude. And Zeldathon, as many of us know, is the flagship event that really prompted the creation of the St. Jude Play Live program. So we are so excited to be returning to raising money for St. Jude after 10, or not after 10 years, but for now 10 years. And yeah, what do we got next on the docket here, Zennadir?
Oh boy, you're going to throw it right back at me. And next up, we actually do have a wonderful schedule reveal video that has been put together for all of you. There's been a lot of care put into this schedule, a lot of behind-the-scenes work that has gone into it across the last several months, basically since Dimensions. Just in the time I have been around to help out with it once again, I cannot tell you how amazing the work that has been done by everyone putting their hands in to make this next upcoming event wonderful. I'm very excited to see it all. I hope you're all feeling it. 10-year anniversary, 30th marathon. I think it's time. I hope you're ready. Schedule reveal video. Here it is.
Here it is.
I saw a lot of hype in the chat for a lot of things on that schedule. I'm very excited to see it all live, just beyond the discussions we've had on it so far. Um, I'd love to talk about a few of them in particular. I think what I am personally most excited for, and it's going to be happening every day in some extent, is Good Morning Zeldathon. Absolutely ridiculous concept. I'm very excited for. Some meetings we've had on that have left me dying of laughter, for lack of a better way to phrase it. It's going to be very exciting. You have no idea what to expect, and that's the best part of it.
I'm pretty
It's
excited
going to be
about
great.
that. And hopefully I'm coming out of not just the left ear right now. I think we've fixed it. So let me know if everything sounds good from your end to our lovely listeners.
Right ear gang, rise up.
I have 2 ears
All right.
again. I'm so happy to hear it.
We found the technology. Let's go, team. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to Good Morning Zeldathon. What runs or segments are you feeling, Clinkit?
Okay, so I'm really excited for Zelda 2 with Super MC Gamer. He doesn't. I don't know if you all remember during Zelda Wheel last marathon, I made a goal that he did not consent to, that I would produce something for his segment. And Stone Money and I have been working on something great, and we're pretty excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're not doing like the whole segment. We're just going to do a small takeover, not like take over his stream, but we are going to just like do a little side project while MC's making his way through Zelda 2, and I'm very excited for that.
I think I'm both excited and scared of what you could possibly come up with for that.
I guess you are producing during that time. Have fun.
Yep, I'll find out when we get there. I'm also super excited for Dynametion's RZ run. We just got to watch the GDQ run, but now we get to watch a Zeldathon run of it. And I saw some hype in the chat for that one. I'm very excited to see it once again and see what could possibly change.
Yeah.
It's just a great game, actually, overall.
This time it's not going to be a speed run. We're going to get all the cutscenes. We're going to see, I think anyway, I'm pretty sure we're getting all the cutscenes, but it's a 2-hour run of it. So we'll get to experience all of that RZ has to offer. And I know Dino's been talking a little bit about some fun things in store, and I'm looking forward to it a lot. What else am I excited about? I'm definitely excited about some of our game shows. I know we're going to have one that Dynamation is running, and then we have another Zelda quiz show with Forrest Minish, who we'll be talking with a little bit later today. So I always love when we have non-Zelda game content. And alternative Zelda content is my favorite. In fact, maybe I did do a whole day of it on the schedule. I don't know.
A whole day? I wonder what day that could possibly be. I suppose
know.
I won't go too much into it, but I mean, there's also a really fantastic segment that I saw got thrown in the schedule in 2 different areas there, and I know you're very excited for it. I'd love to hear more if you could. How about Blood on the Clock Tower?
Oh, you want to hear more about Blood on the Clock Tower? Oh, I could talk for hours
if we have the
about
time.
I don't think we have the time to do that. But we will be playing Blood on the Clock Tower, which is like Mafia or Werewolf if you've played one of those social deduction games. And we're going to have a big group. We're going to have like 7 to 8 cameras for it. It's a total mess. Luca and the rest of the production team, I had a meeting with them, and it is going to be absolutely nuts. Very highly produced, live, everything there. Tons of people you'll get to meet, try to figure out who the demon is. Will evil win? Will good win? It will be a very exciting segment, and you are not going to want to miss it.
I am another excited and terrified for what's going to happen, but the sheer level of passion from everybody means that is going to be one of the best segments I think we have ever put on, frankly.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. Absolutely. I mean, so far we've done pretty much all bangers, and we've thrown it together somehow to make it work. With some technical difficulties, but not enough to ruin the experience. So hopefully we'll keep that streak alive. But speaking of, we also have a lot of guests and newcomers to this marathon, and we're going to talk with a bunch of them today. Who do we have coming up first?
Well, our very first guest on the show is going to be, how do I best describe them? You know what? I actually have some help here from our lovely intern, Secrets Moblin. They're going to give me a little bit of help because a lot of this was put together while I was still half asleep, frankly. So our first guest is Interesting. A well-known variety and retro speedrunner with a diverse portfolio of games under his belt. How much more general can we get here? Well, he's going to be joining us here today to tell us about his Zelda 1 Any% No Up A and Wand of Gamelon all cutscenes run for the upcoming marathon. JSR, my friend, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. It is great to be part of Zeldathon. It's something I've always enjoyed watching, and finally getting a chance to be part of it is very exciting for me. So thank you, everybody, for having me and putting this together. I'm really excited.
Well, we're very happy to have you. Like, this is very exciting getting to watch you run in both on Twitch, do all the stuff you do there, as well as GDQs recently, and now we get to have you as part of Zeldathon once more. It's fantastic to have you here. I have a very easy first question. I think it's very important. All of us would like to know collectively, how are both of our good boys today, both you, JSR, and Peanut Butter? How are you doing?
Peanut Butter just woke up from his afternoon nap and is currently
Nice.
doing dog errands over in the other room. And he's doing great. We've been training to use two paws simultaneously. We're working hard to try to expand his catalog and add some games to it, hopefully that are not only dog friendly but also exciting. Because I mean, you guys were there. I know I got to meet a lot of the staff of Zeldathon at GDQ, and just the response everyone had from PB's run is still probably the proudest moment of my life. Like, I'm just so thrilled that he did it, and we're actually, funny enough, talking about maybe doing some Zelda stuff with PB, possibly 2P1C on some of the classic Zelda stuff in the future. We're toying with some stuff. So
Two paws, one controller. I'd be very excited for this.
exactly. But no, I'm doing great. Obviously, I got big plans of Zeldathon coming up, and mostly I've just been kind of enjoying my backlog a little bit. But I am grinding. I'm gearing up for a Zelda 1 low percent grind here pretty soon, which should be a lot of fun. Not only because I've never touched Zelda 1 low percent, but I'm going to be messing a little bit with frame perfect manipulation with low percent. Not a ton, at least not out of the gate. But if you guys are familiar with that, I can elaborate if you're not. But there's like a way to manipulate the RNG in Zelda 1. And long story short, it changed the speedrun. So I'm pretty excited about the upcoming Z1 grind. It's been a long time since I've done anything like that with Zelda 1.
That's super exciting. What in particular is having you focus on Zelda 1 as another speedrun to learn in a different category out of curiosity?
Well, for one thing, I'd never done low percent. I've been saving that, kind of as like a special category that I've always wanted to try. When I first got into Zelda 1, I was petrified of it. I mean, everyone's scared of Zelda 1 low percent because you look at level 8 and level 9. But it is something that, maybe 8 years ago I was uncomfortable trying, but now my experience level with the Zelda 1, I feel pretty excited to try it. And it's a category that got a lot of life a few years back with folks like Unos, Lack Attack, a few other of the top runners really grinded that low percent category down. I believe the world record's in the 30s now for low percent, which is incredible. And now it's kind of become stagnant a bit. And so I feel like this is a good opportunity not only to revive the category, maybe get it a little bit of a popularity boost through just grinding it, but also because nobody's ever really messed with the frame perfect manipulation on low percent. And in low percent, you're allowed to use the up A, which if you're familiar with that, it's like a death warp in Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. If you pause the game and press up and A, it kind of is almost like a game over, except for it's not technically a death. Long story short, in Any% No Up A, the category I'm running at Zeldathon, that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. So it limits how much you can manipulate. But in low percent, there's no rules against that. So I'm going to be messing with frame perfect level 8s, frame perfect level 9. It's going to be kind of a fun challenge and something that I've been looking forward to doing for years now.
Is there anything in particular from learning different categories of the same game that you think really helps you in a different run? So Any% No Up A and you're going to be learning low percent. Do you think the experience you have with Any% No Up A has helped you catch on to, or is going to help you catch on to low percent even more?
I do think to an extent, yeah. I mean, anytime you get experience with a game, But any percent no up A, you get used to having, certain things at certain spots. And obviously with the restrictions of up and A, you can't up A in level 5 after the recorder, or in another example, I'm thinking level 1 with the bow. Those kind of things, since you can't do that, you have a very specific spawn sequence. If you're familiar with Zelda 1 speedrunning at all, the spawns and the RNG you get as far as what the enemies are going to do and where they're going to move, there's some randomness to it. It's kind of complicated, but the spawns themselves change depending on the path you take. So I'm going to have to relearn some new rooms from scratch. And obviously not having magical sword or 16 bombs or red ring or any of that kind of stuff, you have to really approach each room with a plan. Forcing bombs is going to be really important. And regardless if I can frame perfect manipulate or not, I've just got to really ensure that I've got a good game plan, because it is a very thought out and planned category versus any percent, where I feel like any percent, if you're not manipulating, it's a lot more, there's a plan, but you can still react and recover if things go wrong. In low percent, if you make a mistake in the wrong spot, you're dead, and there's not really a way to recover, so you just reset. It's a very risky category. But with randomizer, which I'm a huge proponent of, and I love randomizer, especially Z1R, which is probably my favorite. Those put you in situations, especially in races, where you don't really have a choice. You know that progression is going to be past that room of whiz robes where all you have is a pack of bombs and a wooden sword and 4 hearts or whatever, and you have to figure out methods of getting around it using pause buffers, forcing bombs, and really understanding how the enemies move. That kind of thing only really comes with experience. If I had to credit anything to my level that I feel like I'm at now, which is why I'm so confident with low percent, that is probably the randomizer experience I have, if I'm being honest.
I love to hear the confidence personally. That's a fantastic thing. We've talked a lot about Zelda 1, but I am very curious. You also have the Wand of Gamelon, all cutscenes in this lovely segment of yours. What made you pick that game in particular?
So it's a long story. I tend to ramble, so I apologize. But
I'm the same way. You're good.
I had a speedrun project I started in 2018 called the Angry Video Game Nerd Trials of JSR. It's actually, funny enough, the origin story to Peanut Butter becoming a speedrunner as well. In that project, I had to speedrun a game from every episode of the Angry Video Game Nerd. And so I picked one game from each episode. And the AVGN, he did episodes on Zelda CDI. So I got the... at the time, I wouldn't have called it a pleasure. I was kind of thinking I was heading into Jank City, and it is Jank City. Let's not twist things, but the charm. It's the kind of jank. I always compare it to The Room with Tommy Wiseau. It's that same sort of like it's so bad it's good kind of thing, where once you master the clunky controls and you know where you're supposed to go and how you're supposed to do things, suddenly the game becomes a test of your hand-eye coordination. It becomes a much more enjoyable romp. And at the same time, your chat and you get to laugh at these cutscenes that I've seen dozens, if not hundreds of times, and I still don't get old with it. They're still hilarious. And the music, even though people always criticize it as like, oh, it's not great Zelda music. Yeah, it's not. It's not. But I feel like if you think of it in a vacuum, it's a decent game. And I feel like its reputation is very unfairly twisted because of the expectations of Zelda. Zelda is a franchise that when you hear that name, you know the game is going to be of high quality, high standards, most of the time anyways. Good music, good controls, fun puzzles. And Wand of Gamelon doesn't really have all of those series staples. So a lot of people go into it expecting, Zelda 2 or maybe something like the 3D Zelda experience, and they're going to be disappointed. You have to go into these games with a clear mind and understand what you're going into. It's like watching a bad movie. And once you approach it with that mentality, it's quite good. I mean, for what it is. It's like an entertaining train wreck. You're not going to sit there and pretend that it's good, but you're still enjoying yourself. And at the end of the day, isn't that all that really matters? And so I started doing the speedrun. I got the record a few years back. I no longer have it, but it became one of mine and my community's favorite speedruns that I do. And it's something that, even over the Links of the Faces of Evil, like of the two, Zelda's game is better, and it's fun to get to play as Zelda. It's fun to get to laugh a little bit. It's almost like comic relief, especially coming off the heels of Zelda 180%, which is such an intense speed run. And I mean, Wanda Gamelon isn't easy either. I mean, there's some frame perfect jumps. There's some sections where unfair things can happen. Fortunately, there's very little RNG. It's a very marathon safe kind of run. It should be a lot of fun and a nice kind of exhale after how tense Zelda 1 can get.
All right. Well, if there was a better way to sell a game than the reminder of games are meant to be fun, I can't think of it, because personally I need that reminder sometimes. So JSR, you are going to be running Zelda 190% No Up A and Zelda The Wand of Gamelon, all cutscenes for Zeldathon 1986. We know we're going to find you there, but in the meantime, where can we find you online?
Well, I mean, the best place is over on Twitch, twitch.tv/JSR_. You can find me there. I'm currently working on the AVGN Trials 2, which is a casual romp through 200 additional janky and bad games. But I'm also diving a little bit into a new rando that's still in beta. It's a quad rando. And it is a combination rando of A Link to the Past and Super Metroid, which a lot of people are familiar with. But if you weren't aware yet, there's a individual, I think his name is Infidelity. He ported Zelda 1 and Metroid 1 faithfully to the Super Nintendo, and they run natively on Super Nintendo, real hardware. Somebody took that and made a quad rando. So now there's a randomizer that has all 4 of these. So you can find like Z1 Silver Arrows in like Meridia. You know what I'm saying? I am absolutely addicted to this. It's made me like not only renew my interest in Z1 and Link to the Past a little bit, but it's also really made me want to learn some Metroid and Super Metroid stuff. And obviously PB is going to be on my channel. In fact, his next run is going to be on August 16th. That is my 40th birthday, a couple days after my run. So if you guys enjoy my run in Zeldathon, you want to come and cheer Peanut Butter on during my birthday special, make sure you stop by on Friday the 16th. And you'll get to see Peanut Butter do some video gaming, and we're going to do some randomizer stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it.
Well, JSR, thank you so much for joining us. Definitely make sure you all check JSR out at their channel, and definitely celebrate that 40th upcoming birthday. That's fantastic. We're so glad we can have you at this marathon. Viewers, team, we need a few moments while we set up our next lovely caller here, so we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy, these rocking tunes are what all true warriors strive for.
You've got to be kidding.
Great, I'll grab my stuff. Come, the birds are singing. Isn't it?
Only on Zeldathon Radio. You want it?
86.1. 86.1.
86.1.
I just wonder what...
WLOZ.
Welcome back to Zeldathon Radio 86.1 WLOZ. I'm Clinkett and I'm joined here by Zenadir, and we are here to give you your one-stop shop for Hyrule's best beats and heroic feats. Now we're going to move on to our next interview of our show today, which is with the infamous Canadian bearded Vidya, welcome. Those were the first three words that came to me. And I had a whole intro, too, that our intern wrote up for us, which was that it was something about Nintendo Life Source. Were you quoted there at some point?
On Nintendo Life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a tweet that, like, minorly popped off, where I, like, used in Ocarina of Time, I picked up Ruto and threw it at Ganondorf and used her to kill Ganondorf. And Nintendo Life wrote a whole article about it, I guess, which was like really weird because I didn't think it was that special. It was just me like messing around in like the practice ROM, and yeah, a bunch of people thought it was funny. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, our intern doesn't know anyone and just went on Google and searched things, and that's what came up.
Is that what happens when you search my name? Oh my god, that's how I am now.
Anyway, well, thank you for being here. You're a long time member of the Zeldathon community. I mean, just earlier today, you were running Donkey Kong 64. You do Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda. I know you were working on Link's Awakening run recently, coming all the way in from Canada. Yeah, how are things going today? How have you been?
Well, I've been looking forward to the schedule reveal for a while because I'm really excited to talk about what I'm going to be doing. I mean, at this point, the marathon starts in just over 2 weeks, so gotta get to, crunch time, I guess, so to speak. I'm sure you're overloaded, and me as well. I spent basically all evening yesterday practicing my run, so.
Oh wow, yeah,
full marathon mode.
Yeah, marathon mode for sure. I'm definitely not panicking. Well, I've got it. So for this marathon, you're doing a Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask Shuffler. Can you explain a little bit about what that run's going to be and how it's going to work?
Yeah. So basically, for the last 5 years or so, it actually kind of kicked off with Zeldathon Forces, which was about 5 years ago at this point. I did a 100% run of Majora's Mask, and that was like the first time I had really sat down with the game and like learned the extensive tech in it. And I kind of figured that I really like the game because obviously it's one of my favorite games of all time, but I hadn't really sat down and explored the tech too much. So that kind of kicked off this journey, and with it came Ocarina of Time as well. They're very similar games. For whatever reason, in the next little while, after December 2019, I had a lot of free time on my hands. Can't tell you why, but the next couple of years, I just kind of grinded away and played those two games. So now I feel pretty competent in both of them. So what I want to show off this time is a run where I'm going to attempt to beat both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask in a single sitting, in a single segment. 6 hours, I think, is the time limit. And what we've done is we've hooked it up to a modified BizHawk Shuffler. So what this is, it's a script made by Author Blues where you can put in a bunch of games and it'll just randomly swap between the games. And kind of you have to manage the swaps and try to multitask, beat all the games, in a whatever sitting you want. But what I've done, I talked to my friend Stone Money, and he is going to modify the script so that the games will swap whenever somebody donates, is the gimmick.
Oh.
So the idea is it's the playthrough is defined by the viewers, the donors, and they can coordinate and try to donate at very inopportune times for me. Like if I'm trying to do a certain glitch or skip, and the switch happens, then it's definitely going to mess me up. So you guys can make my life miserable. It's going to be really hard, but it should be a fun time nonetheless. It's kicking off the marathon. Well, it's not kicking it off, but it's the first night of the marathon right after the first segment. So
Yeah.
I think it's a fun way to kind of set the tone, so to speak.
So, out of Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, which of the two do you prefer?
I mean, they both have their advantages and disadvantages. Majora's Mask is like for a long time has been my favorite game. Just almost everything about it I've always preferred it. I've clicked with the game more. But there's a lot of like really neat things you could do that it's like OOT specific. You wouldn't think it just looking at the games, but they have some very, very different mechanics that it's actually going to make the run very difficult to adjust to, because there's like minute differences. It's like, oh, this is a OOT only thing, or this is something only Majora you can do. So it's something I have to keep in mind and remember. Try my best to remember how the games tick, how they work.
Absolutely.
But overall, I think when you weigh all the differences side by side, I think I like Majora's Mask just a little bit more.
I'm on Team Majora's Mask as well. How are you determining which one starts the segment off?
It's whichever one the script picks. It is actually going to be random. Yeah, I can't imagine we'll be on it for very long. I'd have to imagine, somebody's going to want to donate almost right away. So we'll see. We'll see how it works.
If you could pick, just since we're on the subject of Majora's Mask, if you could pick one mask to like use in your real life, which one would it be?
What I would do is I would go into Lana Ruse's basement and then put on the Danjuro mask. And she could tell you why that makes sense.
I'm aware of this. I love it. Thank you for that.
We'll have her on later and we can ask her for the story, maybe, if she wants to share.
She's screaming at me
so let's just say though, speaking of Danjuro, you've been given the Danjuro's mask and are now the conductor for the Frog Choir. What's the first song they're gonna sing for you?
Sorry, could you say the question again?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing too much.
You've been given the Danjuro's mask, right? I guess maybe you're in Lana's basement, I'm not sure. And now you're conducting the Frog Choir. What is the song that they're going to be singing for you?
What would be a good song for a frog to sing? It's a good question.
I mean,
something from the Muppets, probably.
Could you do like the Whalers theme? I don't know.
I could do Brass Bonanza. That's a good one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We had a suggestion from our from our listeners of a Darude Sandstorm. That's not bad.
I think I'm trying to think of a good. I'm not good at thinking puns on the fly. I'll think of one like 5 hours later and be like, oh, that would have been a really good answer.
Yeah, you can just call back in later and let us know what it is. We'll be waiting.
Yeah.
So we also
all frogs go to heaven. Oh my God, there it is.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
Good one. Good one.
That's not a song. It's a movie. It's not even.
So aside from this segment, you're also involved with Zelda Paint segment, and there's a little bit of a story on there. Is there anything you want to share without giving too much away about that one?
I don't know how much I'm at liberty to say. It is on the schedule that it is me, Marissa, and Danny. And what I can say is that the three of us were all involved in a online community that predates Zeldathon, even, if you can believe that. Where if you go back far enough on my YouTube channel, you'll see the first uploads I ever made were Mario Paint videos. Just like a music sequencer, the very, very old, archaic music sequencer. That I would just make songs and put them on YouTube, and again, they weren't anything special, but we had a whole community around it. That's how I met Marissa and Danny like years and years and years ago. And it's in a long roundabout way, it is actually how I got affiliated with Zeldathon in the first place. So there is a little bit of a sentimental history with that. So we're gonna bring it to the marathon. I won't say too much yet. I won't reveal too much about what's going on, but definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, we're very much looking forward to that blast from the past. Is there anything else like during this marathon that you're really looking forward to?
Well, it looks like I'm going to be on for a couple of the morning segments, so it should be pretty fun.
Yeah, you said you wanted to be involved with that. I mean, that schedule is not permanent yet, but that part probably is.
Absolutely. I'm super down to kick it in the morning with all y'all.
Yeah, we're trying something new this Zeldathon where we're gonna, start the day off at the same time every day with a morning show, and I hope everyone will join in. I think we're gonna have some great content during that time. Let's see.
I had an idea that for one of them, me and Lana could chug an entire pot of coffee, and we race to see who can chug it faster. The loser has to donate $100. I think that would be really funny.
Oh yeah. Well, Lana's
for whatever reason, she wasn't a huge fan of that idea, but I think it'd
Lana's
be
not
fun.
here to say anything about it, so let me just add it onto the schedule real fast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
like you said, it's permanent, right?
Yeah, no. Once it's on this dock, it can't be erased. I have no power to do that. Yeah, this is the permadoc. So you heard it here first, folks. Coffee pot chugging at Good Morning Zeldathon between Lana and Vidya coming soon. Vidya, thank you so much for joining us today. Any last words you want to give? Where can people find you, by the way? What you got going on?
Here. So Zeldathon's all I got, so it's not here. It sounds like now. Here, this is my Twitch channel. There I am in the chat. It's just Vidya. Very simple to remember. If you don't follow me already, you're a fake friend.
True.
I play Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Sometimes Donkey Kong 64. I was a Harvest Moon runner for a while, but I'm likely retired now. Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Vidya. We were so happy to have you here. Very much looking forward to your run on day one of Zeldathon 1986. I almost said Oracles. Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time Shuffler. There. Yeah, I know we got 2 shufflers on the schedule. So thank you so much for joining us. We will be back soon, folks, with our next interviewee, Lana Ruse. But we will head right now into a quick break. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
The challenge is Metroid. The power is Nintendo. Defend the planet Xephus against the evil Mother Brain. It's survival or destruction. Do battle or die. Metroid only from Nintendo. Play Rad Racer. Play with power. It's turbo speed in 3D. It's treacherous tracks, hot cars, hairpin turns. One mistake and you'll roll. Rad Racer only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power. Power, wisdom, and courage in every tune. This is Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ.
Welcome back, everybody, to WLOZ 86.1 FM. We are here talking today about the schedule reveal of Zeldathon 1986 with help from the Clinkit, as well as a lot of fantastic segment hosts that we have for this upcoming marathon. Actually, I don't need any help from our intern Secrets Moblin. You can just fire them now because I know Lana. She is known for her cats, her hosting of various events like Fatau's GDQ, and even potentially Lady Arcaders later tonight. Or perhaps you might have heard of her story of Seasons and Harvest Moon speedruns, maybe her love for coffee and something with frogs? I've had the pleasure of knowing this next guest for several years now, and I'm very excited to be able to talk to her on our show today. Lana Ruse is going to be bringing us a Breath of the Wild nature documentary for this upcoming event. Lana, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing pretty okay, thanks. How are you?
I am very hyped to be here with you, actually. This is very exciting. I almost wish that we kind of stopped the music and the stingers in the middle of our conversation with no other context, because it's great conversation. Lana is such a fantastic person. You all already know this, but I will reiterate it every time. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
All right, well, my first question for you, ignoring frogs, what creature would you be most and least excited to come across in this Breath of the Wild nature documentary segment you're bringing us?
Okay, so a little bit of context for everybody. The hope with Breath of the Wild here is that we are going to get our hands on the camera rune, and your girl's going to be going around taking some lovely pictures and potentially some selfies with different creatures and friends and enemies around all of Hyrule. Now, naturally, this could be influenced by your donations as well, so you can make my life really great or really, really horrible. But I personally have to say that I'm a big fan of different wild animals that are around Hyrule myself. So if you want to influence that, let me know. I love horses. We could also maybe get a nice selfie with the Lord of the Mountain. If you're feeling really spicy and want to make my life miserable, then some of the blights, the bosses in the different dungeons are awful. And we might be able to go take a nice little picture with some of them. But we will see. Overall, maybe we could take a picture with a bear if we're really feeling it. I don't know. Or a cow or something cute. Or even just another one of the characters that might be lurking around. Get some beetle selfies. I don't know. I'd vibe with that.
How much do I have to donate to get a selfie with you personally? With like the
Well,
couch
free
even
for
maybe?
you.
Ooh, all right. All right, I'm gonna take you up on that as soon as possible. All right. Okay, similar question to what we asked our lovely friend Video previously. If you could have one Sheikah Slate rune in real life, which one would you choose?
Oh my gosh, that one is very, very tough. Hmm. I kind of am vibing with some cryo, honestly, because if I could cross a lake really, really quickly and just use that to move around, I'd go with that one, I think. Faster
You'd
movement
also,
across the lake, love it.
I feel like you'd have to be able to climb a sheer brick of ice to get up
I'm
half of it though, because
Zen.
it comes
Come
out of the water.
Yeah, but like I'm Canadian. We're born with that, okay? You know, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's, Canadian spirit, I don't know.
So you wouldn't even need this rune. You already have the ability to do exactly this.
You know what? You might be onto something there.
You don't, it's fine. You don't have to share your superpowers with us. You can act,
Mhm.
humble, but we
We'll keep
know
it a secret. Mhm.
it's a secret to everyone.
Yeah,
All right. Are you
exactly.
a fan of photography in real life? Do you take a lot of pictures?
I do, but I'm not an expert. I really like pictures because I have a horrible memory and it helps me remember what I've done with my life. And looking back at pictures is really lovely. That's one of my favorite things to do. I used to go out and take pictures of different like nature things and all that, but this will really be testing my abilities as a photographer and a gamer, and I'm kind of mid at all of those. So you know what? We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, you said you used to go out and take pictures of real life animals, nature, and stuff like that. What in particular did you like to take any pictures of? If you were to make your own nature documentary in real life, what would you be focused on?
Oh gosh, I mean, if you looked at my phone, it would just be 2,000 pictures of my cats. So it would just be a nature documentary about the two of them realistically. Otherwise, based on other things I cross, it's usually, well, let me be real here, other cats that I just find walking down the street because they make me happy. Or again, sheep, goats, alpacas, those are my favorite. I've been known, I get roasted incessantly by my family. I have just braked really hard going down a highway when I've seen a goat. This was in New Zealand. And I got really, really excited and had to take a picture of the goat. So yeah, for me, it's goats, alpacas, sheep, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Braked going down the highway in New Zealand for a
Yeah,
picture of a goat.
it was quiet and it may have happened on 2 separate occasions, but you know, the goat got me
Oh,
really
more than
excited.
once.
Yeah, you know, it's okay. We'll be real here.
Committed to the bit. I actually really respect that. So you mentioned you have like 2,000 pictures of two cats. Can
Mhm.
you give me like a quick narration if we were to have followed your cats around the house for a documentary?
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. As we approach the bedroom, we walk in and we see a lump inside the bed. What creature might be lurking beneath the covers? We approach. We peel back the duvet, and lo and behold, it is Mocha, the large, chunky little Mocha, sitting beneath the covers in her natural habitat. And then in the distance, we hear Kona screaming at the ceiling for the 4th time today, starting at 3 a.m. and proceeding regularly every 2 hours. Thank you, Kona, for displaying your mastery of your natural environment.
Okay, all that and more for the Breath of the Wild segment. I can't believe you've given us a teaser like that, minus the
I'm so
cats a little bit,
excited.
unfortunately, but I'm also very excited. Now, a couple more quick questions before we get you out of here, Lana. What
Mhm.
Canadian food do you feel everyone should try at least once?
You know, maple syrup by the liter, honestly. I cannot fulfill my civic duty by saying poutine because I don't like melted cheese. This
What?
is a make or break thing for a lot of my relationships in life. But I actually don't like melted cheese. So I would not recommend poutine unless you're, you know, taking off the cheese, but that's sacrilege apparently.
Wait, wait,
Um
wait, wait. So it's not even just I don't like melted cheese. It's to the point of I would actively avoid recommending poutine because of melted cheese.
Potentially.
All right, fair enough.
What other Canadian foods are there, honestly? I'm trying to think, but it's just like maple syrup and poutine, and I think that's, you know, that's all that I've got really.
All right,
Until we
well,
start getting into more like French Canadian desserts, which also are like full of maple syrup and stuff too. So I don't know, who knows?
you're
Beaver
halfway there at that point.
tails. Okay, yeah, beaver tails.
What is a beaver tail?
Okay, so a beaver tail is essentially just fried dough, and it's got different toppings
Done.
on
I'll
it.
try it.
And right, the two I would recommend are there's one with like Nutella and banana, and there's another one that I get that's the sort of Oreo one. So a nice cream on it, kind of icing, honestly, realistically, and crumbled Oreos, delicious. Highly recommend. Check out your local beaver tails, or if you're in Quebec, it's called Queue de Castor. So
I'm not
check it out.
even gonna try to pronounce that.
Mhm.
All right, one final question for you, Lana. If you were to suggest any kind of coffee to all of our viewers, what would you suggest?
Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so honestly, my go to that I talk about all the time, if you have hung out with me for any length of time, you know how much I rave about a good latte. And to me, the best lattes are made with different floral syrups. I'm really big into lavender. Today I had violet. Was my coffee of choice. So, violet lattes are great, lavender lattes are great. I've had rose lattes, those are really, really good as well. Yeah, a good floral latte, hot. I don't do cold coffee, hot coffee. And, you know, to go. Hot coffee to go. Um, and that is my absolute favorite. Mhm.
All right. Well, Lana, you will be running the Breath of the Wild nature documentary segment for us at Zeldathon 1986. In the meantime, where can we find you online?
Okay, so I am a very irregular Twitch streamer, but you're free to follow me. I do stream mainly cozy games on my channel. I also, as Zen mentioned, I do host a lot. I may be hosting for Lady Arcaders this evening as part of their marathon as we wrap up day 4. Otherwise, you may have caught me at AGDQ, SGDQ, Fatales events. We do have Flame Fatales coming up in August as well. And yeah, lots of different charity events. So you can catch me on my stream. I'm on Twitter at Lana Ruse. I'm pretty much Lana Ruse everywhere. Feel free to hang out. And if I don't see you before then, we'll catch you at the marathon for Breath of the Wild.
All righty. And with that, we're going to take a few moments here, hear from some of the station sponsors. We'll be back with our next interview after this.
Did you see the latest Nintendo newsletter? Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game. You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System. It's The Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tektites, Levers, too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link, yeah, get Zelda. Awesome. Intense.
The Nintendo Entertainment System. Your parents help you hook it up. The Legend of Zelda sold separately.
You're listening to Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ. Your one-stop shop for the hottest beats and heroic feats.
Welcome back to Zeldathon Radio, 86.1 WLOZ. I'm Clinkit here with Zenadir, and we're going through the Zeldathon schedule for our upcoming marathon, Zeldathon 1986, which will be running from 13 to 19 August 2024, raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Our next guest is another new individual who is coming to our marathon. We are in person. We're very, very, very excited to have them. I have some notes that our intern put together. So our next guest is going to be Ice Blue. They are a notable speedrunner and Twitch partner known for their proficiency in a variety of retro games, particularly the Zelda series. They also do some randomizer gameplay. And here, coming to our marathon for this event, they're going to be doing Zelda Tilt and Tumble, which you may have seen premiered at our last marathon, Zeldathon Dimensions. This time we're gonna have a speed run of Zelda Tilt and Tumble, and we're super excited not only to see the run but also just to have Ice Blue in person. So Ice Blue, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into Tilt and Tumble, if you don't mind.
So funny enough, I actually got raided by Jiggy one random night, and Jiggy was just like, Ice, I need you to test something or try something for me. And I was like, oh no. And like, I was just finishing up a Zelda 1 rando. So it was like the perfect opportunity. And I was like, oh no. I was like, hit me with it. And so he just, no context, no nothing. He just sends me this link. And I booted up. And it was like, oh, you need to plug in this controller. I was like, okay. I was like, I have a Switch Pro controller, no worries. And I boot this up, and immediately, I just lost it, because like it was just so funny to see Link just rolling like this, and I was like, this is incredible. Like I need to continue this. So I ended up doing a full playthrough of it that entire stream after I got raided, and I loved every second of it.
Did you know Jiggy at all before the raid and like the link that was just dropped for you, or was that completely impromptu?
I've known of Jiggy. Like, I don't think we've like actually like spoken too much before then. But I did know Jiggy before. I went to MomoCon in 2018, and that's when I found out like all about Zeldathon, because I was just hanging around the booth the whole time, and I was watching some of the runs, and I watched Andy and Kelpsy do the Link to the Past with the honey controller.
Oh, God, the honey controller.
It was magical. I will say that.
So that was 2019 MomoCon. I was there. I do remember.
Was it 2019? Oh, then I'm
Yeah.
misremembering years.
No. Oh, did you say a different year? I think it was 2019. Was it 2018? I think it was 2019.
It might have been. It was 2018 or 2019. It was one of those years. It's all been a blur.
But so that was that the first time you had heard of Zeldathon?
Yes, actually.
Oh wow. And have you watched the event since?
Yes, I have.
Oh, very cool. So, what are you looking forward to most about coming to Zeldathon and experiencing it?
Honestly, just being there in person. Like, I enjoy like being like in event spaces for stuff like this. Like I've been going to like GDQs for the last, like I've gone to 6 GDQs in the last, since 2019, SGDQ 2019. I've been to every single in-person GDQ since then. I enjoy doing like events like this, and like just being able to like either watch the skill level being showcased, or being able to showcase my own personal skill level and support, wonderful charities like this.
And we're really, really looking forward to having you, not only for your run of Tilt and Tumble, but also, having you around on the couch for other parts of the event, other segments. So I must ask, what is your actual favorite Zelda game?
Funny enough, my favorite Zelda game is just one that I just don't even want to speedrun ever.
Really? Which one?
My favorite Zelda game is Wind Waker.
That is like, feel like that's one of the, I feel like about 20%, I don't know why I'm saying 20%, but I feel like about 20% of Zelda fans pick Wind Waker as their favorite. Don't quote me on that.
I love the art style of Wind Waker. I love like just Link's reactions, like his facial like reactions to everything. And also Tetra is the best Zelda. I'm sorry, I gotta say that.
Tetra's, I think we did a tier list of a bowling league. I'm pretty sure Tetra, we put her on like the top tier for Zeldas in a bowling league.
That's perfect. That's where she belongs.
Yeah, exactly. No, she's pretty OP. So on the other side, have you played Kirby Tilt and Tumble before you got into Zelda Tilt and Tumble at all?
Funny enough, no. This is my first experience with anything Tilt and Tumble.
So when learning how to speedrun this game, what went into that, and what are the challenges, or how is it different from a regular Zelda 1 speedrun?
How is it different? Ooh, that's a very long list. It's vastly different. Like, just like you have to plan out like how you're gonna like roll into like each scenario, and like there's differences because like, you know, with the original Legend of Zelda, like the speedrun, everything is like split into multiple screens, whereas in this version everything is just one like giant flat mat, and you're just like, uh-oh. So like there was instances I'm rolling, and like there was a Zora that just fired a beam like across the map, and then like 20 seconds later I got hit by that thing, and I was like, oh. I was like, okay.
I did test that game a little bit when Jay was developing it, and yeah, there are some wild things. Now, I've never played Zelda 1 with my hands. I've only ever played it with my feet. But even, you know, trying to do it with Tilt and Tumble, I noticed a lot of those differences as well.
Yeah, it was definitely big difference from what I've speedrun the original.
So, other than Zelda 1, which we do know you speedrun, what other Zelda games or Zelda adjacent games do you speedrun?
So I speedrun the original. I speedrun Zelda 2. Zelda 2 is probably my favorite speedrun.
Ooh, maybe we can get that next time.
That I've ever done. I love Zelda 2. Link to the Past, I've done Link's Awakening DX. I've also done the Switch version of Link's Awakening. I dabbled in Ocarina of Time for a little bit. I'm not really a huge fan of the controller. It's different kind of comfortability on my hands. And I've thought about doing the Oracle games.
Ooh.
I just haven't gotten to that yet. It's a very long list.
Yeah, Oracle games are definitely ones where actually I feel like lately when we started openly insulting some of us, I might have been responsible, started openly claiming that no one liked the Oracle games. Now we have this strong following of people who love the Oracle games, and I think we had more submissions for the Oracle games this Zeldathon than like most of our other popular games, because we were just getting so fired up, like, I will submit a run for Oracles.
The speed runs are actually very wild to watch, if I'm honest, because like a lot of it is just like there's a lot of like RNG manipulation in the any percent runs, and I mean even like Oracle of Ages, like you don't even beat the game, you credits warp after you beat like 4 dungeons.
That's wild. That's so wild. I've always wondered like what a speed run of like all the games plus the linked, I don't even know if that's possible, but that's something I would love to see at Zeldathon, is just like full Oracle's content speedrun. Everyone take notes.
Maybe I have something to learn until, you know, for next Zeldathon.
I'm not gonna say it's an automatic get into the marathon, but it's pretty close. Ice Blue, thank you for being here today and talking about your run. We're so excited to see you. Tell us a little bit about where people can find you outside of the marathon.
Sure. You can find me over at twitch.tv/iceblue. I stream there 4 to 5 days a week, just depending on my daily schedule. And I typically go live at 6 p.m. Central those days. But yeah, right now I'm doing some Final Fantasy stuff, and I'm learning Super Metroid. That's been a challenge.
That wasn't from Jiggy's pressure, was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Super Metroid's been on my bucket list for 3 years now.
It's a pretty popular speedrun from what I understand. You know, a lot of people love
it's
that game.
Also very, very, very impossible.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. We are looking forward to having you with us at the marathon for almost the entire time, I think. And then, so we'll see you lots on couch, and then we'll have your wonderful showcase of Tilt and Tumble on, what is it, Sunday? Do we put it on Sunday?
I think so. I know it's the 17th. I don't know if that's a Sunday or...
That's a Saturday.
That's a Saturday, okay.
Saturday the 17th. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Ice Blue. We're gonna head on over and get our weather report, and then we'll be back with more amazing content here on Zeldathon Radio 86.1 WLOZ.
This is RitoCam with Zeldathon Radio. Welcome back to Zeldathon Radio, 86.1 WLOZ, bringing you hot beats and heroic feats fresh from, well, it's a secret to everyone. It's going to be another fully overcast day with the usual gusts of 620 kph continuing our unbroken streak of the finest storm watching in the solar system. It's a balmy minus 148 centigrade out there. That's 125 Kelvin for you science guys, gals, and envy pals. So if you're coming to visit, remember to bring a jacket. And if you want to go for a walk, bring your reinforced umbrella too. We're expecting scattered showers of ammonia during all 9 hours of the day.
The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore. From Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hip joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price. Under 50 bucks. 50 bucks? Now isn't that nice? The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy, these rocking tunes are what all true warriors strive for.
You've got to be kidding.
Great! I'll grab my stuff. Come, the birds are singing. Isn't it?
Only on Zeldathon Radio. You want it?
86.1. 86.1.
86.1.
I just wonder what...
WLOZ.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Zeldathon Radio 86.1 WLOZ, where we are discussing the Zeldathon 1986 schedule reveal. We've shown the video, we are discussing this lovely schedule with some of the fantastic segment leads. And actually, up next, we have what I'm being told is our third Story of Seasons player of the show today. She is a big Taylor Swift fan, has cultivated a chill and welcoming community on Twitch where she focuses on Nintendo games, and I am very personally excited for the Zelda Family Feud segment at 1986. Forrest Minish or Rebecca, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, thanks so much for having me on. I am super excited to be returning to Zeldathon and doing, like you said, Zelda Family Feud.
And we're very happy that you are returning after the interesting experience that I'm sure being on couch at the start of the Jiggyverse was. So thank you so much for that. My very important first question for you. Your Twitter profile picture features a cat. I really want to know
does.
what that cutie's name is.
His name is Frisk.
Frisk? I love him. Can you
Thank
pet him for me
you.
when the opportunity presents itself?
I will. He is such a cuddle bug.
Oh, so is mine. She's actually on the desk with me right now, and it makes this schedule reveal feel so much better. I am very
Aw.
comfortable with that cat. All right, now to the nitty-gritty of it. You're going to be hosting Zelda Family Feud. We've got a lovely game show for you. What do you think makes a game show great?
I think anything exciting can happen at any moment makes it great because these contestants don't know what questions are going to pop up. They could answer something really funny. They could answer something completely ridiculous. And I just can't wait to see what throws them for a loop.
Alrighty. How do you go about gathering your questions for a segment like this?
I thought really hard. I already have the questions set up for this. And so with Zelda Family Feud specifically, it's a little bit more than just standard trivia, like, trying to get the right answer. It's more of what you think most people would want to answer as soon as they hear the question. So it might not be what, you think is your answer for it, but what do you think the people are going to respond to it? So I tried to think of things that people had strong opinions about in terms of Zelda, which people have very strong opinions about Zelda. So I had a
They
lot to work
definitely do.
with.
All right, so you said you actually have all of your questions ready. That is, you're on top of it. I can't say I would be like that. A lot
I
of
am
my
so
questions for
ready.
today came into being within hours of our schedule reveal today. I'm not afraid to admit it. That's how I function best. Are there any cutting room floor questions that you'd be willing to share with us, just to get the people thinking in chat?
Ooh, Well, the Olympics are going on right now in real life, and so there may be a question related to how the Olympics could fit in the Zelda universe. And there are definitely some characters that could participate in a number of events in the Olympics, so that's some food for thought.
I'm rooting for Linkle and anything that involves archery all the way, personally. And we do have a crossbow training segment for... Wow, okay, yeah, that's got me thinking already. That's a very good start. So I see as well on Twitter, because we scroll, we get the information. You
Oh
recently
boy.
updated your iconic Zelda eras poster after the reveal of Echoes of Wisdom. Which
Oh,
Zelda era do you feel you identify with the most?
that's a good question. I am a big Swiftie. For anyone who doesn't know me, I will relate anything and everything to either Taylor Swift, The Legend of Zelda, or both. And so I did do that. I came up with an Eras Tour Zelda poster with all of the different Zeldas throughout the ages. There's so many good Zeldas, but the one that maybe I relate to most might be Breath of the Wild Zelda, just because I feel like she is very hard on herself and wants to do good for everybody, and it doesn't always go her way, but she doesn't give up, and she's very inspirational. So I think I would identify as her.
I'm gonna roll with that as well as something you said with strong opinions from the Zelda community. How did you feel about the voice acting in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom?
I didn't mind it. I'm not somebody who feels like every game needs voice acting, and so I would have been okay if they never introduced voice acting to the Zelda series, but I don't think I disliked it the way a lot of people disliked it. I know that there was some criticisms on like how the British accent sounded, but I don't think they're supposed to sound British anyway. It's Hyrule. It's not Britain. So maybe, whatever accent they used is what Hyrule accents sound like. I don't know. I thought the voice acting was good. I liked it.
I actually, personally, I really like it. I think it's a nice addition. It's not one that I thought was ever really required with Legend of Zelda games, but having it, I realized I do enjoy that it's there. And then I compare it to like recent Pokemon games where we have characters who are singing and there's zero sound coming out, and I'm like, this is a decision. Wonderful, great, love it. Yeah, so I liked it a lot, and Breath of the Wild by far one of my favorite games. Zelda especially, I actually really liked her voice. I don't care what people think.
Yeah, I liked
So
it too.
yeah, thank you so much for that. We're a little behind on schedule here, so I'm going to kind of keep pushing us. But Forrest Minish, Rebecca, you're going to be hosting our lovely Zelda Family Feud segment for Zeldathon 1986. But in the meantime, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so I am Forest Minish on Twitter and Twitch. I do stream sometimes, but if you want to see all of my very loud opinions about Zelda and video games and just a bunch of silly posts, go follow me on Twitter. That's where I am most of the time.
And make sure you check out that Zelda Eras poster. It's very well done. It was
Thank
very
you so
unexpected to
much.
find. And I like that it was updated right after the reveal of the latest game. I'm very excited for it.
I had to. I'm so excited for Echoes of Wisdom.
I'd love to see if you could bring it in a future Zeldathon segment. I think it'd be
Ooh,
great.
I hope so.
Alrighty, thank you so much for being here. Everyone, we will be right back after a quick break with our next interview. Stay tuned.
Did you see the latest Nintendo newsletter? Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game. You mean you haven't played it yet? We can play it on my Nintendo Entertainment System. It's The Legend of Zelda, and it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Octoroks, Tektites, levers too. But with your help, our hero pulls through. Yeah, go Link, yeah, get Zelda. Awesome. Intense.
The Nintendo Entertainment System. Your parents help you hook it up. The Legend of Zelda sold separately.
You are about to come face to face with the advanced video technology of the Nintendo Entertainment System. Batteries not included. Here's Rob, the video robot you control. He helps you take on the challenge of Gyromite. Aim the zapper. See if you have the skill to score at Duck Hunt. There are more great games sold separately like Excite Bike, a programmable game, Kung Fu for high-flying action. The Nintendo Entertainment System comes complete with all you see here. Extra games sold separately. Your parent help you hook it up.
wisdom, and courage in every tune. This is Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ.
Welcome back to Zeldathon Radio. I'm Clinkett here. You are listening to 86.1 WLOZ. I'm joined with our next guest, Jay Artist. One might be a familiar face or voice to those of you here. Jay is our lovely development lead for the Zeldathon team. Dev whiz guru extraordinaire, developer of games such as Zelda Tilt and Tumble, which we just talked about again earlier. Jay, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you. Yeah, how have you been lately?
Because
Jay,
Zeldathon...
Jay, I just realized I had you muted.
Oh, no worries. I'll go back and say that it's been a busy time here. Coming up to the marathon is always a hugely busy time for the entire development team. We have such great ideas. I just wish we could have them 6 months earlier sometimes.
Yeah, we are so thankful to have you on our team. Bringing you onto the Zeldathon team really just boosted our dev prowess. I don't know how to put it. Your energy is infectious. You get everyone excited about working on coding for our marathon, which is, especially since many of you also do coding for your day job, right?
It's kind of endemic to the profession. You discover that people that do this tend to do it as a hobby too. It becomes a compulsion. And all I've done really is help make sure people are pointed in the right direction. And considering the team we've got, that hasn't been difficult, and it's paid off time and time again.
So, I mean, you're involved with a lot of segments for this marathon.
I try.
I'm going to start with the one you're most excited about, I think, which is Quest for Zelda.
Bringing back a classic. Granted, it was 1989 instead of 1986, but a developer for a early home computer at the time wrote a Legend of Zelda style game, completely original. I've had a chance to actually meet and talk with the developer of this game, and he is excited as well as I am to bring it to you. One of the first adventure games for a home computer in the style of The Legend of Zelda. It might look a little bit familiar. You might see some things and say, hey, I think I know what that was inspired by. I'm also currently the world record holder because I don't think I've ever met anyone else that beat the game. Not because it's difficult, but just because it's so under the radar.
So, I mean, I don't know if you're waiting to show a lot of the game for your segment during the marathon, but is there anything about it you want to tell the audience about how you came across it, or is that a story for another day?
Well, as far as coming across it, when home computers were in their infancy, software was kind of at a limited premium there. There weren't as many titles out in general. So every new one that floated across the radar, you went and you picked it up. This particular system, the Radio Shack Color Computer, had an annual convention we went to back when I was young enough to count my age on one hand, and that's where I first encountered it and started playing it. It took me 30, 40 years to realize that my love of the Zelda series comes from this tribute game more than anything else.
Wait, really? You found Zelda through Zelda?
Absolutely. I had this before I had my very first NES.
Well, Nintendo should be thanking Quest for Zelda then.
Absolutely.
Bringing them more publicity.
I will say, if you're interested in seeing a little more about the game, I have a strategy guide for speedrunning it on my website at jartist.dev, jartist.dev.
Oh, very cool. Well, I mean, if someone wants to get on a leaderboard, this is the time to do it, I would say.
I was going to say, I may not be the world record holder for much longer.
So speaking of heading back over to the games you've developed or modified or whatever for Tilt and Tumble, so we're gonna have a true speed run with Ice Blue, who we talked to earlier. for Zelda Tilt and Tumble. Have there been any modifications, or like what has been the growth of Tilt and Tumble since we saw it during Zeldathon Dimensions?
Well, I will tell you that one thing that came up was the fact that in original NES Zelda, you cannot make a full swordless run because without the sword, there's no way to defeat Ganon at the end of Dungeon 9. We added a way using the magic wand to defeat Ganon at level 9. So a new category is forming around swordless Tilt and Tumble, as if it wasn't difficult enough. And then being able to work with Ice Blue directly, they're so helpful in the suggestions they had and the feedback they had in getting the game to behave as much as possible like the original while accounting for a lot of the things that were changed, like the large overworld map. So it's been kind of a collaborative process with the people that run it and know what they need from the game, as opposed to me where I'd played the game and tried to be as faithful as possible, sometimes at the expense of playability. That kind of back and forth is important in development too. So it's been a real pleasure to have an opportunity to do that.
And we're very excited to see the run. So that's not the only; those aren't the only two games you've been involved in for this marathon. What else have you put the J artist touch on, so to speak, for this marathon?
Well, I don't want to talk too much about anything. I mean, I know we announced the schedule, so technically I can tell people what Zelda Paint is now. For fans of Mario Paint Composer, you remember that old chestnut was kicking around a decade ago? There are a couple of people that were pretty big in the community that we may know. I don't want to identify anybody by name. We'll see if we get enough donations to drag out the past for those folks. But Vidya and Danny Music and Marissa will be playing Zelda Paint Composer, building tunes based on your requests this time around. And I'm really excited about that one.
And I heard as well that, a certain Hergel Studios is a sponsor of our marathon, and some of the upcoming game for that might make an appearance during the marathon as well.
It's a very valid possibility. We've been looking at seeing if there's a block of time where everything gets left unattended and we can run in and take over. Show off Let's Cafe, our upcoming game. You can wishlist it on Steam right now. Not quite a Legend of Zelda style game, but it's been really fun to turn a lot of the experience that I've gained working with the team and working on, fan games and projects for this into a real actual product all on its own. Besides, Hergel Studios has always been a fan and sponsor of Zeldathon. I'm just glad we can do it in an official capacity this time around.
Yeah, Hergel Studios has brought us the amazing things such as Zelda Tilt and Tumble, but we are so excited. I've watched the trailer for your upcoming game, and it's such good cozy vibes, and I think the community in general is just really gonna love the game. So I'm very excited for us to find some time to just show everyone what that game's about, and we got a link right there. Thank you. For our listeners, they can write that down on a piece of paper and take it home with them and enter that into their web browser and look up Let's Cafe on this application called Steam, and then they can do something called wish listing it. Just letting everyone know that's how you're gonna have to do it now that we're in 1986. But Jay, what are you most looking forward to for the marathon?
Well, at one point in time, I would have said the Bar Louie, but they've closed it, unfortunately. So I don't know where I'm going to eat for the entirety of the event.
Rest in peace, Bar Louie.
Yeah.
So it goes. I honestly, this is going to sound so hokey and cliche, but what I am most excited about is being able to hang out with dozens and dozens of people I consider my closest friends and having an opportunity to do good with those people for an entire week and then some. I miss you guys tremendously, and it is the highlight of my year every year.
Well, we miss you too, Jay. Before we send you off, tell our listeners where they can find you.
You can find me at twitch.tv/jartist1, or if you want to see what we're doing as a group, if you go to hergle.com, HURGLE, you will be able to find out what our team as a whole is doing. All our links are there. All our projects are there. The link to the Discord is there. If you want to see what we're up to, that's the place to do it.
Thank you. We head on over there. I know we're gonna get a a shout out there for our listeners so that they can follow you as well. Thank you so much again for being here. We're going to take a quick break here in a moment for a traffic report from /Echo into some ads and another one of our hot tunes here on 86.1 WLOZ. Thank you so much, Jay, and we'll talk to you soon.
Watch Zelda become a legend on your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Zelda! After rocks!
Which way
you go? Good times. Pee hands.
Levers!
Zelda! Zelda! Zelda!
The Legend of Zelda. A never-ending adventure new for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Zelda!
This is RitoCam with Zeldathon Radio, 86.1 WLOZ, reporting to you from the skies above. Like always, it's a bit crowded up here. Between the Galilean 4 and old Juno herself, it's wall-to-wall, with some facing 11.8 million kilometer round-trip commutes. Fortunately, there have been no worrisome collisions here since Shoemaker Levy 9 got a little too close back in '94. But that's what happens when you're careless when traveling 216,000 kilometers per hour. Back to you in the studio, Clinkit.
You're listening to Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ. Your one-stop shop for the hottest beats and heroic feats.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Zeldathon Radio. This is 86.1 WLOZ. We are discussing the Zeldathon 1986 schedule reveal. You can go to zeldathon.com/schedule, find that on the forums there, because this is apparently the 80s, and I have to go with that bit now. Thanks for the reminder. Definitely check it out. That's what we're discussing, but we will also show you it once more at the end of our stream here today. In the meantime, though, we are discussing the entire marathon and specific segments with some of these segment leads. And next up on our show is a variety and retro streamer who focuses on speedruns and puzzle content. She is a Twitch partner, member of the Twitch Women's Guild, and even a crowd control creator liaison, which means she's an absolute expert for the segment that she's going to be bringing us, which is Breath of the Wild crowd control. Kelpsy, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you for the accolade listing. That was like, wow. Thank you so much.
Everybody needs to know who is here and
Who
why
am
they're
I?
so
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm very excited to bring crowd. I mean, I know crowd control is no new thing for Zeldathon and a lot of gaming marathons, but yeah, I'm really excited to jump back into it. It's been a while, but yeah, so I'll be doing Breath of the Wild crowd control.
Is there a particular part or like feature of Breath of the Wild crowd control that you're like most excited to show off or even most afraid of?
So it's kind of interesting. So there's a few ways you can approach Breath of the Wild crowd control because like what I've figured out over the couple years that I've done it, or when I've used it, is like if you have like some kind of, you know, objective, that makes it way more interesting because then the crowd knows, I wanna help, I wanna hurt not hurt per se, but, I wanna, create chaos or whatever it might be. So, like, what I tend to do is I will probably boot up, like, a bingo file,
Ooh.
which is just, like, a file that is completely empty, but has basically the, Great Plateau done, and then I could either just do, like, a bingo board and just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go for this objective," and then, see how far I get. Another way to do it is just to play the game, right? Like, "Okay, I'm gonna go try to go beat a divine beast or something," and, see how far you go with that. But, I think having, like, small objectives and, talking about that with the audience, I mean, I'm not really worried about it. It's a lot of fun. It's very silly in, Breath of the Wild. I'm just actually looking at all the effects right now, but, I mean, it's a great time. I hope a lot of people will, get to see it for the first time because it's great.
Is the silliness that you're mentioning the reason you picked Breath of the Wild crowd control over the other Legend of Zelda offerings that they have?
Um, yeah, well, I offered all of the ones that I like to do, so, like,
Okay.
Ocarina of Time, which I did last year with Nuclear, I believe. We did
Oops.
a randomizer Ocarina of Time crowd control. So I offered to do that again, but I know they wanted something new. I also offered a Link to the Past, but I actually haven't done a Link to the Past crowd control in, like, forever, so it's probably the best that I did or not doing that one. I think, like, Breath of the Wild being a newer game, a lot of people are gonna just be like, "Oh, yeah, like, we played this so recently with Tears of the Kingdom more or less." So, it's gonna be really fresh and, fun to do.
Can you tell me what got you into doing crowd control runs?
Sure. So I am like one of the OG users of crowd control. Not to get into its like history way back when, but it used to be like a chat-based tool. So basically people would use bits like Twitch bits in chat to then queue up like effects in the actual Twitch chat, and it was all bot based. It was originally released with a Link to the Past crowd control, and back then we used to actually have like races using crowd control, what it was back then, and we would use it to raise money for like certain restream things. So back then I was doing a lot of Link to the Past randomizer just like as my content. And so I got asked to do it one time with some other Link to the Past randomizer streamers. And when it really took off, and the people who Warp World, who is now mostly crowd control more than anything. They have a few other products that they do, but they were like, "Hey, we want to take this product and we want to bring it to more games." So I've had the opportunity to really see like this project be like just a little passion project that was like, "Oh, this is so fun and a fun way to play a new game or play a new way to play an old game," into being like, "Okay, we have over 100 games released with crowd control uh like function, I guess, and, seeing it, like, come to my favorite games has been, like, such a treat.
Crowd control is such a fascinating thing from a viewer standpoint, and every time I get to watch another crowd control stream, I get more interested in finding one that I think I'd vibe with particularly. I think it's also super cool that the team takes suggestions on games to add. I've suggested Borderlands 3 in the past because it's a
Yeah.
horrible story, but it plays great, and if it ever gets added, I know
That's
I
so
will
true.
probably know life the hell out of it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
very excited for that one day.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what specifically crowd control liaison involves?
So actually it's kind of a role that I've only kinda delved into a little bit. Crowd Control is very small team, so they were like, "We really need somebody to, like, start getting people to use Crowd Control," and it's even just in my circles of Twitch, like, it's a very well-known thing, like, the speedrunners know it, the charity marathon people know it, like, it's such a great tool for charity, but when you go to, like, the big umbrella of Twitch, like, a lot of people just have not tried it, have not used it, have not heard of it, and so they brought me on, and I haven't done a ton for them recently, but they basically brought me on to be like, "Hey, we need you to reach out to people and be like, 'Hey, this is a great tool. It will help you increase revenue on as a creator. You can use it for charity if you're a charity streamer.' Like, we do so many things with this. There's definitely a game for everybody in with crowd control." Um, and so, yeah, I mean, that was basically what I was doing for them. I have not in a while, but I would say, for my crowd control titles, I'm more ambassador is probably more fitting at the moment than liaison.
Well, it's just another we can add to the doc there, because you have a lot going on, including being a member of the Twitch Women's Guild and just a general Twitch partner. Is there anything you'd like to shout out about the Twitch Women's Guild? Give some representation here.
Yeah, I actually really love I'm also in the Latin Guild, and, I'm a Twitch ambassador as well, so, like, I'm very involved with the
Busy.
Twitch groups, so, and I really just love these groups that Twitch has really uplifted in the last couple years, when it comes to the Unity guilds, and, recently they just announced the Pride Guild, which is amazing, so I'm really happy for those people who are really interested in that, and I think like they have picked leaders for those guilds, and they are not, like, leaders who are there, like, that are gonna be there year after year. They want new faces to bring in new ideas to, like, kinda lead the guilds in different ways, but they have just, like, brought so many very cool opportunities to these creators who normally just kinda I mean, it's a big sea of people on Twitch, and it's really cool for Twitch to be like, "Hey, so we can trust this group of people in this guild and in these guilds because they are, like, verified, they're, not verified as in, like, partnered or anything, but rather, like, they've been vetted, they are, brand safe, so we should give them we should uplift them, give them opportunities, highlight them, and so it's been a very cool experience seeing the guilds take off, but I do wanna shout them out, they are awesome, there will definitely be some other guildies that will be at Zeldathon, so I'm really excited to see them, so yeah.
Very big shout out to Twitch guilds. That representation is so important. I'm so glad it's an initiative that they're rolling with, because representation feels like acceptance and more people become comfortable. They find people that they get along with, that they relate to. It's such a beautiful thing to
Absolutely.
witness.
Absolutely.
Genuinely. Couple quick more questions here before we finish off. you do a lot of puzzle streams, so can you break down what your favorite kind of puzzle is and why that is?
My favorite puzzle stream. So mostly when I say puzzle stream, so I actually started I the way that my stream vibe goes, I guess, I stream in the daytime. So I'm like very much a work and lurk kind of stream or streamer. So like, if you're working during the day and you need background noise, like I'm basically a great place to be. Or my stream is a great place to be. So I start my stream off. I need like a little while to wake up, so I always have my coffee and a
Same.
puzzle. So, yeah, so initially this was in the form of Picross. If you're familiar with Picross, I don't know people who
Very.
very, of course. So, I used to do a lot of Picross puzzles. I think I worked my way through like Picross S6 or 7 on the Switch. Um, some of it offline, but a lot of the puzzles that I did do online. And then about 2 years ago, um, I was just kind of getting burned out on Picross doing it every single day. So, I think some of my viewers were like, "Hey, have you done crosswords ever? Like, have you ever streamed crosswords?" And I was like, I'm a little worried about looking stupid doing crosswords. I mean, like, Picross is the same way sometimes, but, like, I was a little worried about it, but I was like, also, I don't care. Like, if I look dumb doing a crossword, it's a learning experience. Like, I'm very much growth mindset, like, I will get better at something the more I put into it, like, kinda thing. So I actually do crosswords at the beginning of every single stream now. So every day I will either pop up the New York Times crossword or the LA Times crossword, and that's, like, my content, and then we do maybe a couple other than New York Times word games, and then I switch into gaming content. So yeah, those are the big puzzles that I do, are just like word stuff.
Do you find there's a specific kind, like, does your audience do really well with the crosswords together, or do you find that they add to the chaos?
They I'm very strict about, like, no hints, no backseating, no
Okay.
answers. I literally have a banner that goes across my stream that says no hints, no answers. And so, like, if somebody throws out an answer, they just get kicked out for 10 minutes, you know? Like, I just like, it's very much a, like, "I'm doing this, don't help me," like, we'll talk about it afterwards, and, I don't think it's been super chaotic. The most chaotic time I've ever done a crossword was probably, at another charity marathon. It was like a speed running one. It was a bunch of speedrunners, we all did the Sunday New York Times crossword together, and it was just people yelling answers the entire time, and I was like, "This is a lot. This is a little more." I thought it was gonna be, like, me and, like, 2 other people doing this crossword. No, it was, like, a group of 15 people, like, and, so I was like, "Okay, I understand why, we don't just have answers on my stream all the time because that would drive me nuts." So,
15
uh
player crossword speedrun.
yeah.
Dangerous. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This was Kelpsy. They will be the segment lead for the Breath of the Wild crowd control segment coming up at Zeldathon
Yeah.
1986. Where can we find you online in the meantime?
On Twitch, I'm Kelpsy, Kelpsey. Oh, there's a shout out in chat. Thank you very much.
Let's go.
On Twitter, I'm Kelpsy underscore at the end. I couldn't get the Kelpsy like username. It's been inactive for like 10 years. I'm kind of mad about it.
Not long
Anyway,
enough, apparently.
yeah, I know. I'm also on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, That's the content creator life. But yeah, that's basically I'm mostly on Twitch or on Discord or, Twitter probably, I think. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for being here once again, Kelpsy. We've got more fantastic talk about our Zeldathon 1986 schedule reveal coming up just after this, so be sure you stay tuned in.
Thank you so much.
When you get hold of the Nintendo Entertainment System, when you master Rob, the video robot, and meet the challenge of Gyromites, when you shoot the light-sensing Zapper, when you play the system with so many arcade hits, you're playing with power. The Nintendo Entertainment System Deluxe Set. Batteries not included, Super Mario Brothers, and other games sold separately.
sure is boring around here.
My boy, these rocking tunes are what all true warriors strive for.
You've got to be kidding.
Great! I'll grab my stuff. Oh, the birds are singing. Isn't it?
Only on Zeldathon Radio. You want it?
86.1.
86.1.
I just wonder what...
WLOZ.
The challenge is Metroid. The power is Nintendo. Defend the planet Xephus against the evil Mother Brain. It's survival or destruction. Do battle or die. Metroid only from Nintendo. Play Rad Racer. Play with power. It's turbo speed in 3D. It's treacherous tracks, hot cars, hairpin turns. One mistake and you'll roll. Rad Racer only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
Power, wisdom, and courage in every tune. This is Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ.
Welcome back to 86.1 WLOZ Zeldathon Radio. I'm Clinkit here with my co-host Zenadier. And we just heard from a lot of great people today.
A lot of fantastic discussions, a lot of great questions and answers thrown around, great interaction with our audience here, our listeners. It's been a great schedule reveal thus far. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Jiggy is on the streets of New York and got on a subway, so he's a little delayed. So I was thinking maybe we could take some calls from some of our listeners while we wait.
Oh, yeah, we can absolutely... Wow, we already have a caller on the line. Hello, caller.
A hellish thunderstorm is approaching. On the stroke of 10:40 p.m. Eastern, you will hear the screams echoing through the town of Ravenswood Bluff. A foul omen is approaching. Be forewarned. Friday, August 16th. Upon the clock tower, blood will Nobody is safe. Beware.
Huh.
Hey, producer, nobody vetted that call? Great. Love
That was
live
a little
radio.
creepy. Yikes. Okay. Well, I heard we were
Blood.
going to be giving away some tickets to caller number 3, was it?
Oh, was it 3? Wow, the bar is high today. I love that for us.
So
yeah, caller 3.
If anyone wants to hop in, call right now. Our phone number, you all know what it is. Hop on in, and we'll consider taking your call. In the meantime, enjoy this next song.
You're listening to Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ. Your one-stop shop for the hottest beats and heroic feats.
As the wonderful voice of the Vocal Butcher just let you know, this is Zeldathon Radio 86.1 WLOZ. Welcome back as we are discussing the Zeldathon 1986 schedule reveal, which you can find on zeldathon.com/schedule. While we are waiting for the final interviewee we had lined up, one of our lovely segment leads who is currently trapped on a subway, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. We are taking callers. We are here to talk to all of you about the schedule reveal and so much more about the marathon. It looks like we have the next one lined up. Who do I happen to have on the line now?
Well, hello. My name is Mojo.
Oh, hello, Mojo. Thank you for
I
your
know
call.
that name.
Yeah, I thought I would call in just because there are so many things that are amazing about Zeldathon, but we haven't really talked about one of the big things that happens during these events, and that is the other things that happen for the community. Not just getting to enjoy these amazing segments that people are putting on, but also there are incentives for donations because we have an amazing community of artists that just want to donate their time and talents to the event as well. And they supply physical prizes that people can win a result of their donation in certain time.
There are countless great ones that I have seen every single event. I know I love always seeing the 3D printed Majora's masks, the handmade cross stitches, the scarves, everything. Do you happen to have some that you'd be willing to tell us about upcoming for this marathon?
Oh, I'm looking around my art space right now. I do see a few returning familiar faces, like I am bring back the Mojo hat. There is a cross stitch that I am adoring right now that is gonna be a secret to everyone. It's got a mystery embedded in it, little Easter egg. I'm super excited eventually. There are other ones that I've gotten to hear about. Again, you mentioned the Majora's Mask 3D printed, custom designed, painted to match all of our events. There's another one of those this year I've heard through the grapevine. That's our friend Dinomation, who not only has the skills to like turn a STL into an art piece, but also like the creativity to vibe all of the color scheme and does all his own custom. And it's really so cool to see up close. It's great on screen, but once you actually get it in your hands, it's a work of art.
It was like shell shock to go from having seen them just in pictures and then being at Dimensions, and I saw it in person. I was like, oh, this is real. Wow, that is top quality. And I felt so cautious about even being near it, of like, I don't want to mess with this at all. I want to make sure whoever gets it understands how special that kind of prize is. Just like all of them, everything that people have sent to us that they have a hand in making. It's so incredible what people are willing to help contribute to these marathons to make sure that anyone who donates for such a great cause like St. Children's Research Hospital gets a potential piece of the marathon, something to remember it by and something to reward them for being so generous.
Yeah. I mean, we have other opportunities that are out there for people who want to guarantee that they get something good out of it. We do have the merch store. When the marathon is live, that's all going to be proceeds of that are going to go towards St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. But also, like, can I quickly plug the Finn plushie?
Yes, please do.
Please?
Please do. We've been waiting.
Checking that one off the list.
I think we just summoned our listeners from Tantrum Collectibles. Hi, friend. There's a Finn plushie that's a pre. It's stupendous. To detail, the little tufts of his like hair sticking up everywhere, the blushy cheeks. He's so sweet. He looks so squeezable, and he's on pre-order right now. The pre-order runs through the marathon itself. It's also, if you are somehow not missing a Flynn plush in your life and you just want to see somebody else get one, you can actually sponsor towards the pre-order without making a physical product for yourself. I'm sure that there are people who are like that. I am in possession. Well, possession's an interesting word. I live with a 9-year-old who is going to steal my Finn plushie as soon as it arrives.
Oh no.
It sounds like you need to order 2.
Yeah.
What
As
do
a
you
heads
think?
up,
I'm getting
actually-
aggressive nods from next to me. He's being
They
so
know.
good at being so quiet while with the call.
Actually, just as an important detail, that Finn plushie pre-order goes. We have to reach the contribution goal, by September 15th. So while the marathon's coming up in about 2 weeks here, just over that, Finn plushie goes a little longer. But it would be absolutely incredible if we can make that by the time the marathon starts. We'd love to show you and talk about the Finn plushie way more. It's adorable. The pictures that are on the pre-order website are fantastic. Finn with a master sword is all I really needed in my life today, apparently. And I'm very happy we had a chance to throw this into the current call, and I don't have to think about how hard to try and talk about it later. This is great. I love it.
Our intern from Tantrum has just mentioned that actually a portion of every Finn sale is going directly to the charity as well. And we're super close.
And yeah, we're gonna have so many other cool items in our merch store this time. I think this is one of our best batches of shirts ever. And I'm very, very excited for the community to see what there is in store. I'm sorry for your wallets. Please save your money so you can buy them here in 2 weeks, because you're not going to want to miss them at all.
Donate responsibly.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your call, Mojo. It was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for reminding us about our prizes and our Finn plush and merch. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
I'll see you in a few weeks, my friend. Bye.
Oh, it's happening.
It sure is. Should we get our next caller on the line?
Oh, we want to jump right into it?
You know what? Maybe we should go into a break.
Yeah, we
A
can give
quick
the
one.
producers time to vet these callers a little
let's let
more
them
so we
vet
don't
the
have another
callers
person
through.
talking about clocks and blood. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right. We'll head to a commercial from one of our not real sponsors, but real no, they're not a sponsor. And we'll be right back after this.
Thanks, team.
What will the future bring from Nintendo? More hits like Super Mario Brothers. Sports hits like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Nintendo has the most video game hits. Hogan's Alley, The Legend of Zelda, and more like Metroid, Rad Racer. And you can play them only on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
You're listening to Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ. Your one-stop shop for the hottest beats and heroic feats. wisdom, and courage in every tune. This is Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ.
Welcome back to Zeldathon Radio 86.1 WLOZ. We have another special guest caller that just came in who is about to appear at their very first Zeldathon. Ash said hi is here. Ash, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you? I'm so excited for the show.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. I mean, we got you here. We saw you briefly. What was it? Piece of Heart. Was it 2022? I think.
Yeah, that was 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, a while ago, but also not a while ago.
Yeah.
Time is weird with COVID.
just feel like yeah, like time is flying by so fast, but it was a really fun time. We got to play Link to the Past, which is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. And currently I'm playing through Tears of the Kingdom. So I refuse to beat that game, by the way. So, and I saw it was on the schedule. So I'm going to have to beat it before the show. So that way I don't spoil myself. But it has been so good. Like, have you ever like played a Zelda game where you're like, man, I just don't want to put this down. It's so good.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I refused. I just could keep getting lost and keep going. And it's like, there is no end here. I just want to keep exploring and setting fire to random things and picking up stones with Koroks underneath. It was amazing.
And you don't drop the stone on the Korok's head, right? Like, that's a no, right?
No, of course not. Why would I ever do that? They're friends. They only give me this golden piece of gift wonderfulness.
Exactly. I know, I feel the same way. Like when I play Tears of the Kingdom, I'm always like a little squirrel, like, oh, what's that over there? Oh, there's a Lightroot shrine over there. Oh, there's a shrine over there. Hey, what's that treasure chest? Like everything to me is like I can't stop playing because every time I want to explore the map. Oh, there's a Gleeok over there. Let me see if I could defeat that real quick. You know what I mean?
It's such a good game. I love that feeling of exploration and just how much there is to keep bringing you in different directions. It's so wonderful.
Yeah. And by the way, so I saw that the schedule was announced, right? I am super excited for all the games that y'all are showcasing. Like RZ is going to be amazing.
Yes. We're very excited to have RZ on the schedule.
Yeah. And some like I see some artwork is gonna be on there. Zelda 1, I see Zelda 2 is gonna be on there. Like, I don't think we could ever have enough Zelda on the schedule.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, we do have a day where we're maybe pivoting away slightly, but I'm sure everyone will be dying for Zelda to return after that day of the schedule.
Yeah, like I see Questmaster and Tunic are on there as well.
Yeah,
which
they're
is
kind of like Zelda adjacent, right?
Yeah, especially Tunic, like when you get to the menu and you see like how it looks like the manual, it gave me that like, oh my gosh, Zelda 1 manual vibe. And I love that so much.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That Basunify, who is running it, was saying the same thing. Like, it's like you're playing Zelda 1. Like, you're in 1986 and you're playing Zelda 1 for the first time.
Yeah. What a year to be alive. Imagine playing Zelda 1 for the first time. Yo, I wish I could go back.
So speaking of which, you are an avid retro streamer. What are your first memories of playing through any of the Zelda series?
Okay, so sitting on my shelf right now is my complete in-box copy of Zelda 1 that I've had since pretty much being a child, and I remember playing this game with my mom and my dad, right? Like I still have the map, the book, the game is in really great condition, and my dad made sure to keep it like crispy and safe and clean all those years. So I remember us playing that game together on the NES, and I think that's probably why I have such a affinity for the Zelda franchise. I would say out of all of the Nintendo franchises, Zelda is my number one absolute favorite. And I pretty much have every single Zelda game minus the CDI ones. So, yeah, it is like in my blood. I love it so much.
We're so excited to have you here at the marathon in person. What I guess you've mentioned you don't have a lot, you don't know what to expect, but how what are you looking forward to the most?
You know what? That's a great question. I am looking forward to the camaraderie. I'm looking forward to seeing, all the fun side of the production. I'm looking forward to, just the antics that we can get up to and, like talking to people about our favorite games and, like Zelda music and, if anybody's going to be doing any art there, because I think I see some art on the schedule. I'm a big artist. I went to school for
Oh,
art.
really?
Um, yeah. I love doing like charcoal and painting and like all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see that as well. And just to hear people share their personal memories and feelings and see like, them showcase their best talents. So, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And of course, raising money for an incredible cause, right? Like that's, first and foremost why we're here. So, I am so looking forward to the show and just meeting people that I haven't gotten to see in a long time or maybe for the first time. So, yeah, it's going to be great.
Thank you so much, Ash. We are so excited to see you just in 2 weeks. We're so close. Thank you so much for calling in. We're going to hop on over to a quick break and then we'll be back. I think Jiggy's finally escaped the New York subway. So we'll be back here in just a moment.
I'm so proud of him.
Bye,
everyone. Bye.
Watch Zelda become a legend on your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Zelda! After rocks!
Which way
to go? Good times! Pee hands!
Levers!
Zelda!
The Legend of Zelda. A never-ending adventure new for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
Zelda!
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy, these rocking tunes are what all true warriors strive for.
You've got to be kidding.
Great! I'll grab my stuff. Come, the birds are singing. Isn't it fair?
Only on Zeldathon Radio. You want it?
86.1. 86.1.
86.1.
I just wonder what...
WLOZ.
Welcome back to WLOZ 86.1 FM. I'm Clinkett, joined here with Zenadir, and we finally drug Jiggy out of the New York subway. Jiggy, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. It's great to be on here. How are you, Clinkett? How are you, Xanadir? It's great to be on the radio show.
Yeah, we're doing all right. How's New York?
It's actually really hot here. It's like not hot, but it's kind of hot. It's the normal New York where one day it's really cold, one day it's really hot. But
yeah.
yeah.
We had our intern write a little about you, and they described you specifically as an American Twitch streamer. Do you find you identify as an American Twitch streamer?
Okay. So I've seen that description, and I don't know why they've deemed me as an American Twitch streamer. I mean, I guess that is factually correct, but I don't identify with America right now. Let's just say that.
Okay, very well. I mean, heading back to Dimensions, you went through quite a few universes in the multiverse, if you will, due to some unfortunate producer who decided to forcefully impose that upon you. How has life been since you returned from the multiverse?
It's been pretty good. It's been a pretty good journey so far. I don't know if I've actually returned to the correct universe. That's the real thing. There have been things that have happened that I do not remember at all. Definitely a little bit of weird coincidences that I don't remember. People keep correcting me on things, and I'm just like, that's not a thing. That's like not a thing. Like, for example, and this is the only reason why I'm saying this, like in my universe, we say now in days, but apparently it's been nowadays, and that makes zero sense. Where are we?
It is
I did not. I was.
Nowadays.
It's not. It's now in days. We say now in days we do this. That's the thing. It's not nowadays. That makes no sense.
Xanadir, who do you back up on this?
Nowadays.
No,
I'm from this universe, so like, unless you start a new trend, you're just wrong currently. But I believe in you to do it.
I'm not trying to start a new trend, though. I'm just saying that is the statement. I know. I think I was delivered back to the wrong universe. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, we can turn it into the new Gen Alpha lingo: skibbity toilet now in days.
Nope.
I'm not familiar with Gen Alpha anything. I will not say skibbity.
Let's get skibbity toilet for file name.
This is the same. This is like back in the day in the olden like forces and previously where like everyone was trying to make dabbing a thing. Skibbity is the new dab.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of skibbity and dabbing, except this doesn't really segue at all. While you were stuck in the multiverse, you did go to the furry universe. How has your since you've awakened your fursona, how has that treated you?
I don't know. I don't think I have. I don't really know what. I don't remember. That whole universe is a blur to me. I'll be honest. I think I was like. We could pull up a clip, I'm sure, but like, I don't think I was even like functioning at that point in the show. It was just I was just letting it happen. We were just there.
Yeah, I asked you this question actually to segue into something else, semi-related. My sources have told you that you have a dog toy right now that fans can buy right now. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what prompted you to make and produce and sell a Jiggy brand dog toy?
So you're letting me shill right now. You're letting me
absolutely go for it.
Please.
Sounds good. So we currently have only until next week. We're currently offering a new dog toy. It's available right now at shop.jiggy.live. It's a emote that we used. If I can get a Jig F in the chat, that'd be really great. But yeah, that's the dog toy. It's available all the way until Wednesday. And you can get it for your dog pal. That's it. It's a dog toy. It's cool.
When is there a cat toy? Do you have one of those coming?
No. I'm notorious for hating cats. It's just it's true.
Get them off my show.
Don't.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, everyone knows that I don't like cats.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we should probably talk to you about this marathon. Tell us about what we have to look forward to at Zelda Wheel.
Yeah, I'm really excited to bring back Zelda Wheel, this event. Last event we did really good. We had a really good time. It was myself and MC. I'm hoping that we get a little bit of that back again too, where we have MC on. We'll see. But what I'm really excited is that this time around we're kind of including the entire team, basically anybody that wants to pop in and do some Zelda. And then we have our really exciting a donation incentive to unlock Blitz mode. If you saw, we did a show a few months back called Coliseum Live. It was on twitch.tv/Andy. And the idea behind the show was that we had a bunch of Zelda games on a wheel, but then whenever you donated $10, it instantly changed the game, saving the position, and we had a limited time just to beat one dungeon. So there's going to be a donation incentive to unlock that mode where I'm going to pull basically the best Zelda players that we have on hand, and we're going to try and defeat one dungeon in these 13 games, I think it is, before the end of the segment. So it'll be us versus the chat. It'll be a lot of fun. But we got to unlock it.
Gotta unlock it. You heard it here first, folks. Jiggy, any last things you'd like to say? Actually, yeah, also tell us where we can find you.
I mean, you can find me all across the internet. You can just go to jiggy.live if you want to follow me there. I play a lot of Zelda, but also complain a lot. But yeah, you can find me on the internet. Just search the name, and yeah, I'm really excited about the upcoming event and excited to hear what's next on the schedule.
Yeah, thank you for hopping on in, and we look forward to seeing you in just like 2 weeks, which is just around the corner. We're gonna hop on over to an ad real fast, and we'll be back with our last two callers.
You're listening to Zeldathon Radio.
It wasn't humanly possible, but now you can have all the
Your
power and
one-stop
excitement
shop
of
for the
Nintendo
hottest beat.
right in the palm of your hand. Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Plus, Game Boy comes with the outrageous new game, Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use the revolutionary video link and blow your opponent away. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
Power, wisdom, and courage in every tune. This is Zeldathon Radio. 86.1 WLOZ.
Welcome back to WLOZ. I am Clinkit here with Zenadir.
Hello.
And
Once again.
I heard our interns and the producer have screened some more calls for us.
Yeah, I do believe we have someone on the line. Caller, may you tell us who you are? What's going on?
Hi, my name is Bonds the Bard.
Hello, Bonds.
What brings you to our lovely phone lines today?
I just wanted to call in because I have some things I think we could change about the marathon to make it better. Okay, first, there's too much Zelda in Zeldathon. Okay.
Okay.
Second,
noted.
there's too much Thon in Zeldathon, right? So I think that if we shortened it, less Zelda, I think we could make a better Zeldathon for everybody.
So if we shortened it, like what you said, too much Thon and too much Zelda. So what is left at that point?
You know what? It's great that you ask. See, I think the hidden stars of Zeldathon are in fact the music makers. We could just turn it into like a Woodstock, right? We just get a bunch of musicians together, we chill out, we play some music, for the kids.
It's very fitting that it's Bonds the Bard saying more music. I get it. Okay. I see where you're coming from.
I do see where you're coming from as well. We do have an 80s concert on the schedule if you're a fan of 80s music. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of other Zelda and Zelda adjacent music throughout the marathon. Not to mention we have a whole day of no Zelda on our schedule.
You know what? I will accept this concession and we can continue our talks behind the screens.
I don't think we will continue our talks behind the screen, caller, but thank you for your input And yeah, hope you tune into the marathon next week.
Oh well, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Can we have a producer help us cut this off? Okay.
Wait. If you need me, you can reach me at 8675309. That's my number. Very easy to remember.
All right.
Well, we're doing great today.
Yeah, absolutely
I can't
great
wait for
today.
this show to get reviewed.
Yeah. Okay. Should we take one more caller?
You know what? I'm putting my dice in every bit here. We're gonna have one great final call. I believe in it. Let's do it.
All right. Hello, you are on WLOZ 86.1.
Hello, am I the third caller?
You are the third caller.
Wow, I won the prize?
You sure did. Which is Xanadir?
Oh, excuse me. It's on my papers. Yes, it says you have won one ticket.
To what?
Wow, I won a ticket. Yeah.
You won a ticket.
Let's
Congrats
go.
on your
Congratulations.
ticket. Congratulations, caller number 3.
There's something else I wanted to say.
Oh yeah?
Blood will flow on the clock tower.
Wait, this one again?
Wait, he's back? Oh my goodness. Let's get him out of here, please. All right. Well,
There's
with
a lot of
that
blood
being...
and a lot of clocks.
I know. Well, I think it's just about time to end our show for today. Take it back to some nice tunes. Xanadir, how do you think the day went for us?
I think I'm gonna sleep really well tonight. I think that's a really big thing. And then I'm gonna proceed to not get enough sleep leading up to the marathon. But you know what? We revealed that schedule. We're definitely gonna take a moment after this to show you that schedule once more.
Mhm.
Before we sign off, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's had a hand in making Zeldathon 1986 up to this point. I hope everyone, all of our lovely listeners and audience online, the lovely .com, if you will, have enjoyed what we put together today, and you're very excited for what's to come in just over 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Why do I keep saying that?
Please stop rubbing it in. I'm so scared. We have just 2 weeks left and so much to do. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to take you out with some hit tunes, and we will see you in just 2 weeks at Zeldathon 1986. Bye, everyone.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in.